Hi everyone and welcome back. In this video we are just going into this application and we will try to see what all different ways to debug it, how to inspect the components, all these different options. Okay, so when you do the inspect, right click, and when you click on page source, this is what we are getting from this server side rendered application. What I did is I just minified and put this content here. I just formatted the HTML content and this is how it looked like. Here you can see all the meta tags which we have added now is visible on this HTML head tag. Okay, and here you can see these preload JavaScript. So these JavaScripts which are defined in the head will get loaded as soon as page starts loaded. Okay, these are actually different chunks, and you can see something in the bottom. These are being loaded asynchronously, right? So these are the different chunks which are getting loaded, and this is our HTML content, and you can also see the JSX styles. Here is our HTML content. You can see this is what we are displaying. So whenever this page is getting loaded, right, this HTML has the CSS directly with it, so this page become visible to the user as soon as our browser is fetching this document. Okay, moving further, we can talk about other aspects about Next.js, like how to debug it and all. You can just inspect it, and here we can use the React Dev tool only to check the component hierarchy. This is our component, and we can use this Next.js router and all these aspects. Here you can see our components. This is head, which we are getting from Next.js head, Next.js link, Next.js router. So these are the post link, our own components, right? And this is the link. This is how we are creating a link. Now if we go back to our link, how we are generating links from the blogs, here you can see we are passing the title and we are creating these dynamic links where you will see on the browser the slug content, and the route it is pointing to will be post. So if you just see our application, if you go to blog and try to click on it, right, I actually put a debugger here so you can actually move it. Here you can see our route URL is looking like React post. It doesn't mean that you should have a React post.js. It's aliasing we have done. We have created alias link as this, so this will be visible on the browser, but actual target, it will look for post.js, and title you are passing is a query parameter, right? So there are many ways to extract these query parameters. Now let's go to post. Here either you can use with router as a higher order component, or what you can do is you can also use router. Okay, don't pass anything. Here in this, what we can do is we are returning this. I mean, we can have explicit return statement. Here we can use router. So here we can have a use router from Next.js router. Here what we need to do is we need to import it from Next router. Now from this router we can get whatever is required, and this is what we are returning. Okay, this is bracket, so we don't need this now. Here we can also get the required parameter like required key. We can actually say router.query.title. Okay, this we are already getting, so we can use this directly, router.query.title, and we are just printing it. Now what we can do is we are actually passing the route parameters, right? So here let's say we are going to pass different parameters. Let's say test and something like this. Let's say it is React. This is Angular. View. Okay, and this we are passing as a title. I think this is happening because I installed one plugin. Let's remove this. Okay, this is fine. So we are passing this title. Now what I will do is I will go to this component. I will go to block component, and here we can have one simple JSON. In that JSON we will have all these properties, like based on the query parameter we need to populate some data, right? So we can create some framework or js.json, something like this, and it has this React. Consider there is an Angular and there is a Vue.js, simple JavaScript. Okay, this we will be importing. So I am importing this in this post.json, and what I'm doing is import posts from, I can just specify the JSON. Okay, js.json. Now I got all the posts, and based on title we can print the title and values, right? So here what I will do is const key, I mean the title which we are getting, here. So if key is there, if we got the key which is not null, then what we'll say is const data, and we will just do posts, and we'll pass the key. Key will be Angular, Vue or React, and we'll get the data. So here we can just do the conditional output. If we got the data and we got the key, then we can return from here, return layout title or something. Here we can get the data and title. So there are two properties in our JSON, title and content, right? So here we can just pass data.title and data.content. Right? If we don't have a key, then we just need to, if you're not able to return anything, then just simple return paragraph time. You can return anything, whatever you want. So this is how you can actually pass the query parameter, and in this case we don't need to use with router because we are using use router here. So use router, from the blog we are passing this title, React, Angular, Vue.js. This is routed to this page. Now in the post.js we are capturing the title query parameter, right? In this post.js we are using use router and router.query.title. We got the value. Based on that key we are actually capturing the object from js.json, like React Angular. So it is giving us the object having title and content. If all good, if we are able to get the key and we got the data, then I mean you can put a condition here, not there. So key will be there and data will be there. So I mean this is just a conditional check. If you got data, if you have data, then return this. Otherwise return that. Okay, simple checks that will save you from any kind of undefined error. Okay, reference error. Okay, so this is how we are able to access the key value pairs like title and content from JSON based on the query parameter, and we already talked about how to debug it. So for debug you can actually put a debugger, something like this. Okay, or what you can do is you can actually use console.log, that is native. Whenever you wanted to get something, we can just do console.log to check if value is coming or not. Okay, all the blogs, it is same as the React, right? So consider that you have these blogs, right? Title and content. So if you wanted to capture all these blogs, I wanted to just modify it. Blogs from, I have js.json, and I wanted to iterate this, what this js.json contains, an object, right? So I will iterate on to this object, and I will just print these ULLI tags, right? So what you can do is, here we can iterate inside UL. So it is same what we do in the React, like object dot, I can do object dot entries. It will give me the array of key value pair. Blogs, it will give me the array, so I can do a map onto this, and I will get the value and index both, and just write arrow function and render your content inside it. So what we are rendering is this post link, and we just pass the title and content. Here you also need to pass the key, which is index, for each and every child component. Slug is, we are going to get the slug. So blogs is this. So what slug we are going to get? The property name, key and value, right? So we'll go to blogs, and here you can actually customize the title values and all. So here key is the index, and value you can set value I.title, right? So here value key value pair, so this blogs will give us the key value pair, so you can actually dynamically populate the values of it. So value of, so I mean it is object, so it will give us the key value pair value dot index, something like this, because it's an object, it will give you the key value pair. So you will actually dynamically you will be able to populate this in the UL li and post link. This is the component, and it is just getting the title and slug. We are passing both the properties, title and slug. So you can add one more properties here. Okay, nothing else it can be called, you can call it as a slug. Now in the blog.js, when you do, so let's try to say this, what object.entries will give you. Sometimes it's good that you do some JavaScript. Okay, so you know object.entries of this particular object will give me the array, right? This is the array I got. Now I can do a map onto it. Map, I can pass key value comma index, and if I just try to print what I'm getting from this value, console.log value, okay, it should be simply value. You can see I'm getting this array which having this string as an index, React, and on the first index it is having title and key property, right? So we have to pass one as an index for each and every property from one.title, slug and all. Okay, so let's change our code. Value of one.title. Here also it will be value of one.slug. Okay, this is how it works, right? Now everything is good. Okay, so just wanted to talk about a little bit on the React component rendering side, how we are passing the route parameter and how we are capturing it at the post components, and how you can actually import a JSON, and based on the key value pair you can actually extract the data from it. Okay, thanks everyone.